Hello, everyone. We are discussing Seth books. The topic for this week is beliefs and reality creation. So, we would be discussing on few of the things which author has shared in the book. Particularly, I want to start with one question, which is I feel very curious about, where the author is mentioning first to we blink in to one reality and blink out to another reality. This was very interesting for me. And most of it, I couldn't understand much because he's mentioning there, he's saying there are n number of possibilities and they're running parallelly. Like he gave an example of husband and wife arguing, where at one point they might split up. At the other point, they might um, just compromise and be happy or something else. But he says if you choose one possibility, the others are running parallelly as well. So this was little like um new to me. I heard similar things in the set discussion where Balakrishna sir was saying you have to choose the highest possibility of one situation where it is going really good. And in one of the other set sessions, one of the master was saying that at this moment, if you wish to be a billionaire, that is running parallelly actually for you. It is there going on, and you can go tap into that. You can live that life. So I want to understand more on this. How is it even possible, and how we can tap into, like, in a heated situation where a husband and a wife are arguing, how can you think of a compromising there? Or how can you, being a poor person, think of becoming a billionaire there? How is this even possible? I want to know more on this. Um, whoever wants to go first, please.
Um, let Shailesh ji take over.
Um, I will speak from a very general point of view. The most profound thing that I learned from Chandra sir in our very first session, that that very first session, just so that all of you know, I have listened to it already 4 times, and each time I listen to Chandra sir in that, it is really, really very deep knowledge for me. At least for my growth, that has been a beautiful session. I am really, really grateful to have been part of that session. So that now let me tell you exactly what I am talking about. Chandra sir's explanation of our free will was an amazing thing that I learned, because that is the root cause of every damn thing happening in our life. So, when a husband and wife are arguing in the heat of the battle means that is where you are most vulnerable and your mind is inactive. At that time your mind is completely perplexed, it doesn't know what to do, right? Now in that situation what comes forth is your true self, and your true self is governed by your free will, and your free will represents your state of consciousness, where you are in your consciousness level, right? So your behavior at any point in time when you are in the heat of the battle will come only from your subconscious, which comes out through your free will. It will not come from the mind. So question of making a choice at that time is not there. That is your true response to that impetus, whatever triggered, and your instant response, which sometimes we call impulse, that will come out. And that is based on your level of consciousness, your wisdom. So, just one more thing I would want to explain to everyone for their thinking. I mean, just think deeply about that. Does everyone dream of becoming a billionaire? I have never been able to have that dream at all for my life, entire life. I could never dream to be a billionaire. Howsoever may I try, because you will listen in so many seminars, they will say, oh, just start thinking big, right? Well, what is that big? To me, I could not reach billion at all, ever. So remember that becoming a billionaire, it may so seem that everybody wants money. No, not really. Okay, so based on where our level of consciousness is, we will be at our soul level, we will be looking for something, some experience. And that need not necessarily be that of pleasure. That may not bring forth an experience of joy or comfort, because your soul is looking for an experience. Now, choice that we make, think about your parallel existence now. Parallel existence means in the world of the soul, there is nothing called time. Time is inside the mind. So when we are looking at something from the perspective of a soul, there is no time and everything exists. Now, when, let's say, you have possibility, we said we have possibilities. Where do those possibilities come from? Think about it. Possibility that these two people separate when they are having a fight, possibility that they mend their sort of argument and come together again. Another possibility, they continue to live together with their faces pointing away from each other. All kinds of possibilities. Where do they come from? In our world, where we have time, we think of things separated. That means either this or this. But in that world where there is no time, everything exists already. So whether you choose to be in one of those scenes or not, it is actually happening. For the mind, it is very difficult to accept, because mind is linear in terms of time. It thinks things in pockets, one after the other. How can I be in two places in parallel? To make it easy to understand, let's think of the ocean. Ocean expresses itself through waves, and each wave comes out individually, uniquely. But all those waves which are the expression of the same ocean exist in parallel. So we, being part of that consciousness, we exist in parallel. I may not look like the same person in that existence. Physically, I may be different, but I, as a personality, exist in all those possibilities. So, because of the concept of free will, our future is never pre-decided by anybody. They create possibilities. The universe has given possibilities. We are given the ability to choose. We choose one path. It has to be existing, then only I can proceed there. And that's the path I have chosen. And now I am beginning to see the various events on that path in the world of time. This is my understanding. So all the things that we say as parallel universe or parallel existences, they actually are there. Right? So the Shailesh who is present in this path may also exist in another path, not knowing that there is another Shailesh in that path where Kirti is sitting. That other Shailesh may exist in a very different scenario, which may have come out as a branch from one of my previous experiences. So I made a choice, let's say 10 years ago. So Shailesh took a path, and the other part of Shailesh took the other path that was possible at that time. And that Shailesh doesn't know what's happening to this guy. This is what I have understood in terms of parallel existence. But these are all, they in physical terms in the mind, we can't even think of this thing. But when we think in terms of our existence in terms of quantum physics, everything is possible to exist together.
Can I say one thing? I mean, this is my inquiry.
Yeah.
Isn't it like the same person when we play the role of a father, son, and grandfather? Different roles. Isn't it this one also similarly existing? In different personalities and dimensions. That way also can we understand that?
These are all separate soul experiences. So these three, let's say father, son, and the grandson, let's say these three generations, these are separate soul expressions, I would call them.
But the same
These,
person is
If
playing
I
the role.
can add
there is nothing
something
called a
there,
person there.
if I can add something there,
Yes.
Yala,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
father, son, grandson, right,
Mhm.
is easy for the mind to perceive. Why? All of them are in the same dimension. All of them are in the physical existence.
Okay. The
Okay.
same third
Now
dimension.
extend that
Okay.
to what Silas G said. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Now
Beyond the third dimension.
we are talking about our existence, our perceptions, our experiences, our training, etc., which has built an umbrella on our eyesight. Right? Just like the wearable, I would use the word in today's world, the wearable that a horse has. Right? Just because of the wearable the horse has, it can't see what's happening in the side. So your outlook, your outreach has become, one second, Yarago. Namaskaram, you need to join our Thinking and Destiny link. We are already on the class is going on. No. That one is not working. So you please join our Thinking and Destinies link. Zoom. Yes. Okay. He is a member, but he still needs Raghu. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm sorry about this.
No problem, sir.
Saileshi, I have a question, like a follow-up question for what you have said. Like you said, suppose this Kirti is sitting and talking to you here in this present moment. This Kirti would be doing something else, some other possibility. But that would depend on the choice which we make before,
Mhm.
right? That's
Yes.
how it goes.
Yeah, at every decision point, you have multiple possibilities, isn't it? And you exercise your free will to pick up a direction or a path, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So, what we understand so far is that the other paths which were possible for me to choose, which were offered to me as a choice, those paths actually exist, and those characters in that path also exist as chosen on that path. So on that path, for example, on that path, Kirti and Shailesh decided to go away from each other, right? So you may find only Kirti there on one of those paths. Shailesh may not appear there, right? There may be someone else. Neelu may join that path and associate with Kirti and create new experiences there. That's a separate set of experiences. Now, the parallel existence, just now Chandra sir were mentioning, that the concept of the dimension, that horse vision he was mentioning is that we have limited spectrum of visibility, which we call as dimension, right? But existence does exist all around us. The thing we call as a space is only space to my eyes. My five senses see that as a space. There is so much more that exists there. If I had, I mean, like, that people who have the third eye can see so much more, right? Where does that come from? It exists. So they see it, right? Same thing, our existences can be there in multiple possibilities, which become real because of the presence of the observer. So when Shailesh wants to observe that experience, that will become real. This is quantum physics. This is called observer effect. So I will let Chandra sir continue with that. Yeah.
See, what you said is perfect.
Mm.
But for the practitioners of PSSM principles, right? We say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Right? What does that mean? That the student has now equipped himself in terms of his awareness to now go and connect with a teacher. Otherwise, he is in the kindergarten. He is still preparing. Right? Now, that is the easiest way to understand. But actually, what happens? Right? We are a collection of 50 to 100 or even more, depending upon the mass in the body, a collection of that many cells, trillion cells, right? Either it is 50 trillion, each of them occupying this body from the outer layer till the inner layer. Our bones is a structure, right? On the bones was built the flesh, the nervous system, etc. All that has led us in this diagram. Are you able to see the diagram? Right? This is the physical entity. Now, this physical entity plus the first layer of the emanations from within the body and the next level of atmosphere around the physical has formed the etheric body. This etheric body is then put in or put inside what we call an astral body. The body that is our desire, right? or karmic body as they call. Over that, you have the emotional body, which is also submerged between, and this is our passions, etc. You have the mind. Two parts of the mind. One is the physical mind, the other one is the spiritual. Ah, do we perceive so many layers in our physical body? We don't,
No.
but we experience them. We think everything is me. We are able to identify all these things as me, Chandra, or Shaileshji, or Bala, or Kirti, and so on, right? But then they have grown. This was in kindergarten. They have now come to graduation. They see the world very different, right? But then turn the table to the brass tacks. Is the raw material that is making all of them the same or different? Think about it. It is the same. The same thing at the other layers or dimensions, as we call, of the universe, we exist. Our raw material is the same, but only thing is the structure in which it exists is exploded, opened up. Okay. Now, the ability to perceive is the fundamental question that he is raising. In that query that you raised, right? The fundamental ability to perceive that is what is the consciousness or awareness.
Okay, correct. Yes, yes, yes.
So here that means that people, whoever can think at different dimensions, that's what he's calling multiple dimensions.
Yes. That is what, like, let me go to the chapter itself, because I was reading it today, because I knew that we would have this as the question, Kirti forewarned us. Right? You believe that everything we see is created continually by us. We are not able to differentiate the individual layers in a cassata ice cream. We are only seeing that as cassata ice cream. It is not the different layers of the composition that have created us, right? The universe, the moon, which we must have a good, not done a good job, whatever it is adding is this. The universe, the moon, just let me know if I have this right first. That makes everything an illusion. So either there is physical perception or the rest of it is illusion. Right? So now, physical reality is what appears to be as it is perceived by us, physically focused souls. Right? That is our limitation. The contours of what the variable of a horse. Right? Now, why we are physical? Just remove this body when you sit in meditation. Do you feel the physical side of it?
No.
Right? That is what he says. Is the doubt answered?
Yeah, I think this explains. Yeah. He said in the next sentence, he's not using the word illusion.
Correct.
Because in physical reality, in a solid form, you are able to perceive it.
So now, here he is introducing on another physical level, because all the layers are physical, but you are unable to perceive. Why is it physical? Because of the environment in that layer.
Yes.
right? Just like we have got the atmosphere in the earth, physical earth, there is the atmosphere in the different planes of existence, different dimensions of existence, right? So that
Yes.
atmosphere, maybe it is scattered, maybe the gravity is different. People have gone to the moon and come back. What is the gravity in the moon? They were floating everywhere.
Yes.
But then that was what is movement in that environment. If they had to walk, they need more mass, right? So, in other words, one on physical level, the wall is a solid. So he has taken the example of a wall and keeps out the cold. The desk is a solid desk and upholds the lamp. But then it has changed. The desk is a changed object or a change or a transformed entity, starting with the particles of atoms to growing into the energy which is now become a tree, right? From the tree and the combination of the mindset of the person or the creativity or the creative quality of an individual, it has become a desk. Well, it came as a timber log, the timber log was converted to something else, and then that was given a shape. The shape came from the mind of the person who created it. All those are modifications of the basic raw material. If you go into the analysis, right, it starts as atoms. The atoms that we make it edible becomes our food. The atoms that we make objects, right? All this is because of the ability of the person who is able to observe, who is able to create, and who is able to convert or transform. All these are different states, be it physical or be it abstract. When everything, like Seth keeps saying, right? Nature of your personal reality is what you make of it. The same word personal reality, when you go to Dr. Joe Dispenza, he says that is personality. Personal reality is equal to personality. Both mean the same. But the way we will perceive these two sentences when we hear them depends upon our ability to comprehend what is being stated. That is the essence of this entire question.
Sir, can I ask one question? This is Nilu.
The objective of this session itself is questions and answers and learn from each other. Yeah. Yeah.
So, sir, I was uh, thinking like our soul, like as we exist today, obviously we are like it is said that we are all reincarnations. So we reincarnate every time. And from what when I was listening to you all, it was looking like that we're talking about multiverses. That's again another word these days. Is that
Yes.
correct? Mul
Yes.
Okay. So, sir, so suppose I am like one soul. I have
Yeah.
had multiple reincarnations over the course of time, as we say. So,
Yeah.
are we saying that my previous birth, whatever I was in my previous birth, that is also existing in some other realm still? But so please
It is
help me understand
existing
that.
as energy.
My previous birth, like
Yeah.
not Nilu, whatever I was in my previous birth.
It is existing as energy, and one part of that energy is the wisdom that you were born with, which you are discovering as you progress in life.
So all my past reincarnations, they are still somewhere existing in an
Not
energy
somewhere.
form.
It is
Eh,
existing in two places,
okay.
fundamentally, both as energy, but we have to elevate our consciousness to recognize. One, it exists in what we understand as Akashic records.
Yes, I've heard of that.
right? And the other place where it exists is inside your head. It is
Mm,
there encapsulated in your pineal gland.
mm, okay.
Pineal gland, which controls even the pituitary gland, right?
Mhm.
That is the one that links to your what we do
Akashic.
in no
Okay.
Akashic record, but to the Akashic record, it can only access through your over self. That is the level at which your consciousness has to operate or connect to the oneness that we talk about in unified meditation or whichever spiritual book that we pick up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there is a structure. Like I was showing the other diagram, right, a little while ago.
Chandra sir, Chandra sir, one more thing. In
Uh,
Thinking and Destiny, he always says only 1 out of 12 portions we will come down onto earth, isn't it?
correct.
So our still other parts of and as energy still is there
It is
communicating with
there in
us.
the fifth dimension. Here, what he is talking about, higher self
Yeah,
and the personal wisdom. That is the highest.
yeah,
That is wisdom. If you go to Thinking and Destiny, what is he saying there? He says you are a combination of three entities. You are a triune,
yes.
right? Because you are the knower, you are
Knower think, knower
you are the
thinker
doer.
and
A
doer.
portion of the doer is on the earth, the soul
Yes,
which is embodied.
yeah,
So where is the rest? Only thing is the body is missing. It is sitting as energy blocks,
yes,
right?
yes.
Neeluji, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. It's a very deep subject, but thank you. Thank you. It helps. Yes.
No, as we keep reading, we start understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hated all these topics when I was in the physical realm under the control of a job. That time my life was nothing but money come, money go, right? Luxuries and comforts come, enjoy. Right? Then one day, I don't know what the universe did, all of that went away. Right? Then I came back again. I only knew to the extent of go hunt for a job, do some earning, take care of the family. I was not able to think beyond. Then suddenly I had a windfall of an opportunity in a job, right? I immediately said, my past mistakes have taught me. First, now let me save. Because I used to live in the UK and about 20 years ago, my take home salary was £5,000 a month after tax. That's what is take home, right? And that's absolute luxury because we just needed about 500 to 800 pounds a month to take care of a family of four. I ended up spending all of it. Right? I mean, I was living in a sort of a fool's paradise. From there, everything got chopped off. So life restarted. Maybe that is what I was here to learn. Right? Nothing is permanent, everything is temporary, everything has got a life cycle, and you need to be able to exist in multiple layers. So I started again and somehow managed to now build something that will take care of my day-to-day living. And then COVID came and I became highly spiritual. Right. And since COVID, that is when I got into meditation. I've been doing extensive meditation and maybe I have caught up with most of the earlier generations of meditators. Right. So now, all this experience, now if I look back and see, it has actually taken me through this entire various stages of existence. And that is why when you ask me a question, I am able to relate to it that easily and come out with an answer. So that is the entire background. Divyaji, you had a question. You also had raised your hand. Anyway, so next question.
Um, I would just like to. This is such a beautiful understanding you have just given. I am so amazed that wow, this is what clarifies everything in my head. Think about it now. In Akashic records, all
Correct.
those potential possibilities of my existence, they exist already as energy.
Not only yours. The
Ah,
interesting part is, if you take the universe,
ah,
all our past life wisdom is lying there.
correct.
You
Right.
are you need to have the ability to connect to it to draw that. That is the manifestation process also.
Right. So you mentioned only the body is missing, right?
Correct.
And
Only the body is
we
missing.
and we pick up one body at a time.
Correct.
And then we what we do is we, because my our mind is linear thinking, we can't think of things without putting them in past, present, and future. What
Correct.
we do is we say, okay, that experience was my past. This experience is going to be my future. I am going to take that body later on. I have taken that body earlier.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what we are, simply jumping from energy to energy,
And
using
then
body as a
I
mechanism.
would use the word transforming ourselves, energy A to energy B to C to D.
Yes, using the body.
Because energy cannot never be destroyed, it can only transform.
Correct.
Right.
And
So
our soul is fundamentally that energy.
such
Right.
a
Okay.
beautiful understanding, right? So
Yeah, this is
Kirti,
amazing.
Kirti, now do you understand why we exist parallelly? We, all our possibilities are there in Akashic records already.
Correct.
It's just our decision, our choice, our free will to choose a particular energy block, use a body to experience it,
Yeah.
or to make it real. I mean, like, make it real for everyone, right?
Yeah.
So beautiful. Thank you, sir. So, such a wonderful thing.
So
Wow.
basically, even without, if you go beyond the physical level and connect to it, that is also another dimension.
Exactly. In fact,
So
I
that's
still
what,
feel
that's what,
connected.
see, that is why the example I gave, the person, the same father, grandfather doesn't work because it's the same physical level,
No,
Hmm.
we
same
are
physical
them, they are.
dimension.
Basically, in the physical realm, there is that question of relationship. But
Yes.
once you leave it, if you go to
There
that
is
book,
no, yes,
Law of the Spirit World,
yeah,
there you can understand that you are only, your consciousness is keeping you within a block. Consciousness from a higher level, backward compatibility in the technology world is the same, that is there. Forward compatibility will not be there till you are achieved that level.
yeah, because that stages. He said, see, in that book, that yeah, 7 stages.
Protocol mismatch.
Yes, protocol mismatch. And also one more thing here in the Seth, when I heard the audio, he says if we want something to be real and to have our reality to become true, he says we need to overcome our thinking pattern so strong. Um, it has to overcome the subconscious mind. He says
Yes,
our conscious mind
subconscious
has to
mind,
think.
your subconscious mind is nothing but the diagram that Kirti wanted to raise the next question, which is the belief, the thoughts, right? All
We
of
need to
those, that is another body of ours.
we need to erase that
Correct.
and come out of it,
Unlearn if you are to learn.
unlearn. That's
That's
true.
what Patriji says, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Divyaji.
Thank you, sir. Namaste. So, in the book, the author, the sage says that blinking in and out. So, this is all we have been talking, right? The blinking out
Exactly.
state,
That is the
in and out of
blinking, that is
physical
the
reality.
blink out. That is the blink in and blink out. I will explain that a little bit using one of Joe Dispenza's book. I don't know which book, one of the three. Yeah. Is that the question?
Yes, and one more question following that next page. He also says that ever expanding physical universe. So he reads as my personal theory is that this is what is behind the appearance of an ever expanding physical universe. So
Yes,
when the universe is physically expanding, then is the universe conscious? Or is it like uh, can I like the quantum theory of entanglement? Is it
Ye-
working based on the quantum theory of entanglement?
yes, it is.
Okay, that's my
You
second
got
question.
it.
Okay.
Only thing you are clarifying what you got. But what is this expanding consciousness or
Yeah,
expanding universe, right? You
yeah,
have some wisdom. I have some wisdom. Saxenaji has some wisdom. Balaji has some wisdom. Neelu, Kirti, Uma, Suguna, Lakshmi, and Acharyaji. They all have some wisdom, right? And we are members of this universe. What is the wisdom of the universe? Just like they say, right? Market value of a company is $4 billion, but the revenue is $400 million. What does it mean? It is the same thing. So market value is akin to the universe, right? That means the combined wealth of all of these entities that makes up the universe is the universal wisdom. And as we keep growing, that will keep growing multifold. So that is the expanding universe, expanding consciousness. Yeah.
So here in unified course also, Babaji explained like how when we connect to the trees and animals, the same consciousness everywhere, we keep expanding. We come out of that limitation, isn't
Yes,
it?
we will. And there is another connotation to that also. I think I had explained it in one of the earlier sessions. I'm not sure where it was here or elsewhere. Right? We have evolved to what we are today. But then we are segregated into 5 kingdoms: the mineral kingdom, the
Mhm.
plant
Plant
kingdom,
kingdom.
animal kingdom, and then we are talking about the human kingdom. Above us is the spiritual.
Devata, divine, astral.
So the spiritual. Now, at the human kingdom level, we are encompassing the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom,
Plant kingdom.
and the
And
mineral
some
kingdom
mineral.
within us. Someone may ask how, right? What is your bones composed of?
Calcium.
Right? All those are minerals. We have iron, we have calcium, right?
Mhm.
And also the chemicals that is the next layer of the mineral kingdom. So you are starting, your structure is mineral kingdom. Your digestive system is plant kingdom.
Fire.
The passions, the emotions, etc., is actually part of the animal kingdom,
Animal kingdom.
right? These are all encompassed, put together, and encapsulated in a structural body that is becoming a human. And as our expanding consciousness, we are moving towards the realms of the spiritual.
Spiritual.
That is the entire structure within which we are existing.
And also all our nervous system is composed like tree.
Yes, it is. Right. We are able to visualize that this is Saxena, this is Chandra, this is Divya, this is Bala, Neelu, and so on. But the moment I wear a biologist's eyes, right, I can only see cells everywhere. I can only see chemicals everywhere. I can't see the limitation of the body. This is going into a wonderful level of discussion. No?
Really beautiful, sir. Every little thing is kind of making such great connection inside. All the knowledge that we possess is getting now connected properly, right? Reorganized.
Exactly.
Linking.
Yes, so beautiful.
The synaptic nerve is acting.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Wow.
Yeah, the next question.
Yes, sir. So, next question is that state of being, attitudes, beliefs, and perceptions.
Okay. Right? Let us go into that diagram.
So it is not the nature personality. What is the book now we are going through?
No, we are
It is,
going to Q&A.
oh, I know, but the one, whatever questions and is
No,
this the
questions are all coming from the topic of that Q&A by
Beliefs,
what is his name?
okay?
beliefs and reality creation. All these
Oh, okay.
Q&A are
Beliefs
based
and
on that.
reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a co-member in the team listening to Seth directly through Jane.
Oh, okay. Got it. In those days, in those years, yeah.
He has held a number of lectures and he has wonderfully explained this. Divyaji, your hand is raised. Is there another question? Okay.
Oh,
Right.
sorry, sir.
Now,
I forgot to lower it down.
okay. So now the next question is, okay, thoughts and feelings. One word for us to understand better that is missing there is desire. Right? So let's put this one sec. And next to it, let's put this diagram. Okay. What drives this is desire. And when a desire is met, what we take is the experience. Right? So, how is desire getting created, or how is desire getting enriched? It is through thoughts and feelings.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
Now, so this thoughts and feelings on the time domain warrant expenditure of seconds and minutes. So what starts thoughts working at the level of this one, feelings take some time for it to be experienced by this body or by this existence. Right? But then this keeps on getting repeated over time. First time I had pani puri, now I go with an expectation of what the pani puri is going to taste. Right? Then you will say, why should I go and eat there? Why can't I make it at home? But then we end up, so thoughts and feelings, thoughts and feelings, thoughts and feelings over time, it generates
Desire.
a state in us, a state of existence, which can be a belief, it can be an attitude. Right? This is the progression of how our initial thought has been repeated several times that it has transformed the state of being to attitude, beliefs, perceptions underlying them. Then we become the horse with the wearable. Right? Our world is only this. If it is this, then we start getting psyched by the experience and start living life, forgetting that we have got other layers to cater, right? That is the relationship that drives our life, our existence, for whatever duration it may. Kirti, is the question answered?
So basically, who we call as Shailesh is a
Ah,
sum total of his attitudes, his beliefs, and his perceptions, right?
he is sum total,
Ah,
but there is one more part in his consciousness that is known as Turiya.
okay. Ah,
Got
yeah.
it?
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
We start forgetting the concept of Turiya there, which is the oneness.
Hmm.
Turiya is
Correct.
another way of expressing oneness.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You got it, perfect.
Yeah.
That's the immortal self.
Yes. So you are awake. So that means your consciousness is visible.
So
Then
repetitive feelings becomes emotions.
it becomes a habit. That habit becomes, right? Now that habit guides the progression of your existence. Right? That also becomes the limitation in its own way.
And also expectations. When you don't meet the expectation, then
The other side of then your attitude, your feelings will trigger, and through feelings, the attitude will come out. A sum of attitudes becomes the belief, right? A sum of belief becomes the perception. After that, it is this is life. I can't get away. Finish. Right? So these become the layers of our existence that drives, right? Either our rigidity or our
Our
flexibility.
flexibility.
Perfect. Got it. Whether I'm a good teacher or all of us are.
Yes, you are.
Absolutely, yes, correct. So let me investigate this little further, right? So
Yes.
that our understanding becomes a bit more clear. So when I am a little child,
Ah,
I have very little beliefs. I start developing attitudes to begin with, right? I experience something, I develop an attitude, and then over time, I grow, those attitudes grow into a belief, right? Now, this process I want to understand a little more clearly, that when I am a child, my parents tell me this is good, right? And I simply accept it as a thought and create a feeling, from a feeling of respect for my parents, or maybe inability to overcome their power over me.
one more point there is
Hmm.
because of the threat that the parents give us.
Exactly. So
Right?
my
So they
being
are
helpless,
conditioning you.
yeah. So helplessness and the thought together, they become my attitude actually. That I say, well, okay, it's not really good to do this, such and such thing, right? So that becomes my belief over time. How
That
does that
becomes,
really become belief?
that becomes the belief till you experience something
Mm.
contrary to it.
Okay,
Mm,
correct. That's
Yeah.
where I wanted to
Beautifully,
come.
Joe Dispenza
to
explains. He says,
overcome the old one.
Mm.
no, in
So,
fact, Joe Dispenza writes this very interesting paradigm in his life. He says, I went to the school, right? I argued that Jesus is Italian.
mm.
Well, he is Italian at home, right? He comes home and he doesn't talk to anyone. Because there is an argument and they say it is not so. So I says, how can this be? My grandmother used to speak to Jesus in Italian.
Mhm.
So you form perceptions based on that also.
Exactly. Yes. So beautiful, right? So when my experience is either contrary to it or aligned with it, in either case, when I actually experience that that particular thought, that becomes my knowledge, isn't it?
That
So
becomes your, I mean, I will use the terms or examples which will relate to what we have been talking.
Conditioning.
That becomes your consciousness, your awareness.
correct, awareness, perfect,
Correct.
right? Yeah, it's yeah.
And
So
it becomes, behind it is your cellular memory. Because the
uh,
experience has gone and settled in all the cell structure of the body.
propagated, yes, perfect,
Yes,
yes.
it's
Okay,
propagated. Perfect.
so
Yeah.
so that means our beliefs could either be imported from elsewhere or
Hmm.
our own experience,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is something I wanted to be. To be clear about, because many a times what we think that when I have experienced something, that becomes my truth,
Mhm.
That comes and sits here in the
right?
diagram.
Yeah. So when that becomes my truth, and I was able to tell my, if when I was thinking deeply about this subject, I was able to figure out a situation where this truth, which I consider to be truth, is actually incorrect. So it may be true for me, but it is not necessarily that that belief or whatever that pattern I've got now or that perception may be correct. My belief could be wrong as well, even though it is coming from my experience,
Correct.
right? The example that I want to give about it is that, say for example, when we are young, our parents say, don't tell a lie, right? And I am sitting in the room watching my father tell his wife, which is my mother, that you tell on the phone that to his friend that, oh, I am not at home. Tell him that I am not at home. Right? I am listening to that and I am being told, you always speak the truth. Okay, next time I tried telling the truth to my mother, well, I broke the glass. What do I receive? I receive a scolding, right? Then what is my perception? Speaking the truth is a bad experience. This is the experience I'm gathering. So I better tell a lie every time when the situation comes. Let me tell a lie. That becomes my truth. Telling a lie is an easy way out of everything. And that makes this whole world speak lies all the time. Think about this thing, right? How do we get into certain patterns? Where does it come from? This is what I when I thought about it very deeply, I said, well, okay, so much of things which I think as my knowledge is incorrect. So uh, belief system is such a powerful thing, because that's what makes me Shailesh. It is such a powerful thing that I need to know it very well. What is my belief system? Right? And the unified practice is beautifully telling me so much about myself. So
Correct.
much I'm learning. Lovely. Thank you, sir. Such a beautiful thing.
Anybody has any more questions?
Can I ask like a little off-topic question, which has been like bothering me like uh, for
Please.
last couple of weeks, if
Yeah.
I may,
Please, Bhajan Sangha.
if there is. So, sir, a couple of weeks back, I started reading Bhagavad Gita, and right now I'm on like chapter 4 or 5, something like that. and I was doing the unified course also. We just finished that, which speaks of like oneness, like there is no difference between the supreme energy and us. We are all part of like one thing. Is from what I'm reading in Bhagavad Gita, they talk of a supreme consciousness or that supreme being as a separate entity. From what I have understood, maybe I'm like completely wrong. So I think they talk of Dwait, and I think the unified course that we learned and whatever we are understanding is talking about Advait. So there is no two, there is no separate entities. We are all part of one. We are all unified. We are all one. Is my understanding correct, or I am getting confused?
No, you are trying to mix up philosophy with the material that you are taking in, right? You are applying your window of philosophy there because Dvait and Advait are philosophies that guide us in our life, day-to-day existence. Bhagavad Gita is giving us various scenarios of application of this Dvait and Advait.
Actually, even Krishna says his consciousness, not Krishna. Krishna's
Right.
consciousness in all of us is same. In several times, in several slokas, he mentioned that we need to understand properly.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm like just starting, but from whatever I have read like so far, with my limited understanding, and I was just trying to compare it what we are like reading in, like learned in
It is the
Unified.
same. It is the same.
It is
Only
same.
thing is we need to be able to segregate philosophies as principles of life.
See, one sloka I will tell you. Initially, I was confused. The one he says, see action in action, inaction in action. That's one in one sloka. He says like that. I said, what is this? Unless you read several times and understand from several perspectives and listen to a few people, it's very difficult. So, like there are a few slokas. He says clearly that. See, one example. Everybody knows that when Balakrishna, when child Krishna, when he ate the mud, Yashodhara
Yes,
says, "Open the mouth," and she sees the whole
whole
universe.
universe. Yes,
That
yes.
means the whole universe also within us, and we are also in the whole universe. That for that level, we are not, grown to that level. Our, dimension is very low. Like it's, but
No, our
that in
consciousness is
reality,
very low.
yeah,
Yeah.
we are limited. We are thinking of, we are limited, but like like in the unified course, if we come out of that limitedness, we can understand easily. That is why, like Ramana Maharshi always says, we are one, we are one. He says, I don't see the separateness, but he is at that level.
So can someone like please explain just like in like very briefly if possible, or maybe some other time, like what exactly is this like? I just understand just by the words of it, like Advait means like one and Dvait means like two. Can you like somebody like shed some more light if possible, like today or maybe sometime other?
In simple terms, it is exactly what this diagram is talking
Hmm.
about, right? Perceptions is nothing but beliefs. That is one limited identity that we can give to consciousness, our state of existence. But behind it lies the attitudes that have formed over the years, right? So, ability to be operating or the state of being at the thought level is openness, right? Then you are talking about Dvait. Sorry, you are talking about Advait. Everything is one.
One.
But then you are compartmentalizing it into attitudes, into beliefs, into perceptions, right? You are bringing in the individual existence rather than the collective existence. A simple thought can be perceived by an individual based on his exposure, his visibility, right? So
Dwell.
Dvait to Advait or Advait to Dvait is both existing concurrently.
Okay. Okay.
So it is, both are two philosophies, right? It could be as yeah. So we are going through those, depends upon our outlook, whether it is from the principles of oneness or it is from the principles of fragmentation. Right. So that differentiation we will be able to think when we are open. Our state of being is at the CKD form, completely knocked down condition. Yeah.
Also, yeah, according to philosophy, the real difference between Dvaita and Advaita is Dvaita, people always think God is somewhere.
Correct.
Okay. According to Advaita, non-dual, God is within us.
Within us. Okay.
In fact, that is what takes us to the third dimension and fourth dimension. Somewhere some beautiful caricature was being drawn as a lesson was being dictated. And he says, God is inside us or God is outside us. Third dimension, God is outside us. Fourth dimension, God is inside us.
And fifth
Actually,
dimension?
Pardon?
Fifth dimension?
Fifth dimension is, there is no God, we are the God.
Okay.
Because in the fifth dimension, you are completely spiritual. Right? You are looking at universal wisdom. There is only one wisdom, and that is universal in nature. There is no compartmentalization.
and also, like Patriji says, we are gods in human beings.
Correct.
We are immortal
If somebody has
consciousness
to
in
be
human.
recognized in the third dimension, which is the earth, you have to be called human beings, or you have to be called up to human beings. Your minerals or plants or kingdom animals or human beings. That is the highest state in the third dimension.
But see, this human body, this is running, everything is running, it's because of that immortal consciousness. That is God. That is oneness. That is Advaita.
Okay, so shall I say a few words here?
Yes,
My
sir.
understanding.
Of course.
Advaita and Dvaita both are correct. They are both, like Chandra sir said, they are two separate philosophies. It depends on what perspective you are looking at them from. If you are looking at something from the perspective of a soul, you will use the philosophy of Advaita. When you are looking at something from the perspective of a mind, you will be in Dvaita. Mind is a machine that creates duality.
I agree. That is true.
Right? Mind is a machine given to the soul to experience duality.
Yes.
Now, to give you an example, think about, take any coin in your hand. Can you see the full coin with your eyes at any point in time? You cannot. So to see the coin, you have to have two sides of it, heads and tails. When you see heads and tails, then you can construct an understanding of a coin in the mind, because mind cannot think without duality. It needs opposites to
Hmm.
create a reality experience. Experience of reality cannot come unless there are two. That was the primary intent of providing an ego to humans. Ego
Yes.
came as the first quality of the mind. That's how mind creates duality. When you have an ego, what does it mean? My ego, what does it? First thing it does is to me and
I.
everything else. It separates me
Hmm.
from everyone else, right? That is my ego. So ego was
Yeah.
the first tool that mind got to experience duality. By doing this separation, me and everything else, the mind is able to now differentiate. Okay, let me see the heads now, then I will see the tails. In this lifetime, let me murder somebody. Next lifetime, I will get murdered and see the other side of the coin.
Oh, okay.
This is the mind. Mind, if it has to experience, it has to see both aspects to have a complete experience. That's how mind works. So right now we are all in the body and using the mind to comprehend something which the mind cannot comprehend. The Advaita, the concept of Advaita is a very simplified explanation of the unknown. What we say, the unknown is infinite,
Hmm.
and there is nothing else. It's not one, huh? Remember, it's not one. Actually, they say it's not two. Advaita. If you say,
Non-existence
So
of
it's
oneness.
not two. Okay.
it's
Actually,
we can't say it's
Non-dual.
best way to
one.
put it, yeah,
Oneness is a wrong word.
non-existence of oneness.
It's non-dual.
Ah, Advaita means there is nothing, right? So that's the understanding we have to develop, that, and it's only mental understanding.
Yeah.
I would say very crude comprehension of all that is. Think about it, right? Mind cannot comprehend something which doesn't
Hmm.
have two.
Yeah.
Mind
Right.
cannot. It is not capable of doing that. So, in this unified course, we have learned the techniques to bring ourselves out of the mind first.
Hmm.
Get out of the mind to
That's why they say
comprehend.
heart.
That's when you come out of the mind, then you can comprehend the entirety, the totality. I would, instead of oneness, I call it totality, because that's all that is, right?
Cosmic
So
intelligence.
to comprehend the totality, or not even comprehend, experience totality,
Yeah.
we have to come out of the mind. And that's
Hmm.
Babaji's, those techniques we have learned, we are learning. I am learning still. I'm in the week number 20. But those 24 weeks of learning the techniques, those techniques help us just come out of the mind and then perceive the totality, the existence.
See, one more thing. The reason everybody created the duality is to understand. So to know the light, we had to know the darkness. To
To know the light.
understand and to understand the happiness, we should understand. We should know the other side of the. Then we can. Otherwise, we don't understand. See, that
Mm-hmm.
is the reason the duality is created on the earth for
No,
our own experience.
Right.
in fact, just to add a little bit, they say the 3 days before Christ returned to his home, right after being crucified, was that he had to understand and become the king of darkness.
Oh,
Before,
Yeah, yeah, yes, I read that. Yes,
right?
because
So it
yes,
says that unless he lives in hell for those 3 days, right? He has already finished service to the humanity. But then he doesn't have the visibility of what the other side of, or the negative aspects of life is all about before he can be taken to the next level. right? So those 3 days he spends in hell, which is nothing but a magnified sufferings, right? I think it's time for the people who are looking, I think we are coming to an end, right? We still have
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Like Chandra sir, Shailesh ji, Bala ma'am. Like it's this is amazing. Thank you so much. I had stopped reading Gita actually because I was getting so confused. So I just thought like I have to like first understand this. Why am I getting confused with this unified and
that
this? So
is
because I was definitely comparing. Yeah.
what we do is when we read something, right? I generally have cultivated a very peculiar habit. I try to break it down into 12 different components, which is the hidden meaning of the para that I read for me to understand. And one of that is the mind of the person who has written. Because that is the limiting factor when we are reading.
Yes.
Perfect. Yes. Yes.
Right?
Correct.
And the
Absolutely.
other limiting is our ability to
To
understand.
understand.
So these
Correct.
2 windows are very clear.
Yeah.
The actual wisdom that the para is giving is lying between these two limitations.
True.
So
True.
if we are able to take that approach, we will get different. So where do we get those missing components? Read the same book from 12 different entities.
Mm.
Listen to that on the YouTube. Each one talks about one area, looking at his understanding. All those are inputs for us to assimilate and form our understanding.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, that's true, sir.
That helps us get an absolute clarity. ये क्या हो रहा है? Right? That question gets answered.
Okay. One fun exercise for everyone. Think about it, right? We, our mind understands duality, so we know there is something called light, there is something called dark, right? Light and darkness. Have you ever thought, like think about the coin, when these two sides, the light and dark, when they come together, what does it create?
It creates the yin and yang of life.
The
Mm.
totality, what
Yeah,
would that be?
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
What would that
That,
be? Think about it, right? So we have both of those aspects in us.
yeah. That is why Siva and Parvati, the Prakriti and Purusha, yin and yang, you need to merge
Yes.
to become
So,
one.
interestingly, there is one thing that Shailesh ji has not said, which using my 12 structured formula I am getting to is the ability to see that is your consciousness.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. So beautiful. Thank you, sir. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes.
That is why if we read some books, they talk about it as manifested and unmanifest.
Ah,
But
that
even
See,
this.
in
I, I,
destiny, he uses the term everywhere. Manifested universe is my universe.
Ah,
Mm.
Unmanifested universe makes it complete.
and that unmanifest is the Akashic records actually.
Yes.
That's all unmanifest.
see, cause and effect. Effect is the one world, the affected world we are seeing, but behind that there is a cause.
Mm.
That
Yes, yeah.
behind all
Yeah.
this, all this
Yeah,
seeing world,
but the cause and effect, Balaji, the cause and effect is basically the way in which mind functions to
yeah,
split something, right? Now that
yes,
the combination of yin and yang, which the totality is, actually totality is a combination, right? Now mind understands it by splitting,
Correct.
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So,
But see,
so
yeah, that is true.
we don't have to combine. We don't have to
We,
combine. It is
we
already combined,
yeah, yeah.
It is
right?
No,
actually
no,
combined
it is
for our
already combined.
perception.
It is because of our mind we are splitting.
Ah,
But by merging in our mind, we are agreeing that into oneness.
yeah.
By merging,
What I'm
that.
Where I am trying to point us to is that while we are in the body, developing an understanding that there is something which is totality, right? And the
Yeah.
mind is dissecting it into two to
Yes.
understand it better, right? With that understanding, when we look at anything, we will not have in our mind any um, any
Confusion
anything
or
against anything, because
against or separation.
anything that we call as bad
Yeah.
is a
Mm.
part of the totality,
Yes, yes.
right?
And we don't
Yeah.
judge. Yeah. And that
Hmm.
is the reason we don't judge, because everybody comes
Yes,
for their own experience.
absolutely perfect. Yes. So this is the wisdom we are developing by knowing the mind has to understand that both these components that have been created by splitting are equally important because they make this whole thing complete.
Yes.
They are integral part of a totality, right? Then you can't reject anything at all. There's no way, right? That's
Yeah.
I mean, like, the deficiencies of Shailesh make him Shailesh actually. Remember this thing. If
Hmm.
all my
Yeah.
deficiencies are removed, I became
Then
the
you are no
God.
longer.
I
Yes.
Yeah,
become the
you
See,
God
become
only,
devotee.
right?
You
that
become
is why in
devotee.
Telugu, in spiritual tablets, there is a saying, it is not a siksha, it is sikshana. That
Mm.
means it is not punishment, it is a learning.
Mm.
Correct.
Yeah. Yes.
See, when you have the spiritual knowledge, then whatever it comes, we don't think it is a punishment. We always think something is there for us to learn. So this is a learning.
Yes.
That is how our understanding makes us to feel better,
Exactly.
to grow.
So, exactly. Perfect. So, understanding what unified is it makes our lives so much more beautiful and enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because now I have no problem with anything at all in my life.
No, in fact, there is one video that me and Bala watched yesterday in our Thinking and Destiny. 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
He
He
concised
explains everything
very
about this.
everything.
Sir,
It's
can you
only
please share that with us
Yeah,
too?
yeah. I was about to do that. I will
Thank you
do.
so much.
Oh, wonderful. He's talking of, see, I was doing this research on soul contracts,
Hmm.
right? Soul contracts, one stage behind that happens to be our purpose of life, which is a
Hmm.
combination of karma, our goals, and our talents. This has got two realms. One is the spiritual realm that we exist in, and the non-spiritual, which is the physical realm that we exist. So curiously, I was reading, and one statement in that took me by complete shock. It says, we decide the name with which we are going to be born.
Yes,
Really?
yes,
Wow.
absolutely. I fully
Right?
agree with you.
Now, how? This is at the energy signature level of an individual soul,
Yes, absolutely.
right?
Correct.
Now, in unified meditation, we search for a name for our ourself,
higher self.
Yes, 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 yes.
right? Does it link? Are you able to connect the two?
Mm.
This is another example, Kirti, of how the universe keeps guiding us. I was wanting to listen to a music. This was the video I was talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah, he
When
talks about the 11 facts the soul
Please
chooses as a soul
share
contract.
it here, sir, so everyone can see.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
it
I
will
will.
How
be.
we
I
choose
will.
our
Oh, but
name,
I
our
will. I
I'm
don't
not
family.
have 10
sure.
minutes, otherwise I would have played it here.
No, no, no. I mean, are we allowed? Because this is going to go on YouTube again. So,
Yeah,
recording. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
is
is
it okay?
from YouTube.
No, we
Okay.
should
No,
not. We should
if they
not play
have
here.
any,
No, we
yeah,
should not
we
play.
should not play here.
We
No, no,
should
you
not
can
play it.
listen to it individually.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let
Post it
Yeah.
in the group
Yeah.
otherwise.
Post
Yeah,
the
yeah,
link.
yeah.
We will
I
listen
will.
in.
I will.
Yeah, because there are
So
certain rules.
remember that this choice of a name, where at the soul level, when we choose a name for ourselves, you know why we do that? Because we hide a clue to our own self to remind us of something during the
Mm.
lifetime. That's
Yeah, yeah.
one of the
And
flags.
this entire soul contract, the book that I think I've posted that book in
Yeah,
our
yeah.
group.
Yes, you have, sir. You have, sir. I've been
That
like listening
one
to it. Yeah.
actually, that one talks about how you can decode it and come to your purpose of life. How our name. So there are two more associated videos
That
which now tell
this
me,
we should keep continuing this. We should remember this question. Not only after we come, I don't know, maybe randomly we should discuss whenever this topic arises. Because again, now something else will come, this will be subsided or somewhere. But when we have this, we should discuss on this to know more.
yeah,
Since now you are learning it, like researching on that, we would be able to hear more from you.
yeah. No, I'm literally shocked. I picked up one or two characteristics in me, right? As I was analyzing my chart, right? So this leads me to the belief that if someone understands astrology at that fragmented level,
Level.
right, they will also understand that astrology talks about our time of birth,
Yes.
what we
Yes.
are at that time,
Exact time.
what our
Yeah.
quantum physics applicable to us is at the time of birth, not what it is today, because the component of free will is not indicated anywhere.
Exactly. Yes, that's a snapshot. It's a
Correct.
snapshot in time.
Of
In
your
time.
birth, of your birth
Yes,
scenario.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So,
just
Yeah.
like the name, we also plant several other flags to give us clues throughout the life. First,
And those are the classification of the 6 entities I was talking about.
okay. So your life partner, how will that chemistry trigger between you and your life partner before you get married? There are hidden clues that we plant that will trigger my mind to choose that partner.
Correct.
yeah, yeah. I think they see in this where that soul gift, and who is that? He says in that
Yeah,
book
that
I
is
read,
Robert Schwartz.
Robert Schwartz. Yeah, Robert Schwartz says purposely we choose contrary to our personality to develop our patience, to learn from the other soul. Purposely we choose it. Seems we make that contract to be
Those soul contracts broken collectively is our life, what we
Yes.
are supposed to complete.
Now think about it. Why do husband and wife become, after living together for 25, 30 years, how do they become the same?
yeah.
Because they have learned from each other and grown to be the same.
Their level of consciousness is manifested.
Yes. Yes.
They came as
Also,
unmanifested and they have
Absolutely.
become manifest.
Yes.
yeah. Also, he said if you break it in some other future life, you had to learn that.
You have
Yeah.
to complete that
And
You
cycle.
had to
you
Yes.
may
complete it.
even end up changing roles and then still
Yeah.
going through it.
Yeah.
Exactly. The agenda is never left at out. It will
No,
be fulfilled. Yeah.
Yes.
So
nice.
the
In
thing is, the
fact,
underlying what I'm like understanding, whatever uh, challenges or whatever we are experiencing in this our life, it's better to experience them right now in this lifetime. So there is no residual effect left for the next life.
if there is residual effect, then the concept of compounding interest works thereof.
Yeah, true. No, we don't want that, sir. Let's finish it here.
See,
Yes, yes.
that we know, and we should not forget. Some of those lessons are foundation to our agami karma.
Ah,
Yeah.
beautiful, perfect. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely, yes.
I
So,
don't know where I'm speaking all these words from. I had absolute distrust in this entire system.
Sir, I was also watching from like PSSM, like some videos. I'm like, that's how I came in contact with the group and all that. I
Hmm.
started following that. So I was watching one of the videos for Seth Wisdom, like long time back, before we right now just started reading Seth. Long time back, couple of months back, I was just randomly going through and I saw a video. And I think in the workshop of the Seth workshop, the master was like talking to some individuals separately, individually, and whatever exercise they made them go through, at the end of it, they were always asking that individual to like ask for forgiveness, seek forgiveness from some soul or something. Since that time, I'm telling you, the day like I usually like I try to like seek forgiveness like unknowingly in front of God and like saying like if I've done something wrong, like please forgive me and I'm sorry or whatever. But since that time I've watched that video, I have made it into my practice to every day seek forgiveness for any soul I may have hurt intentionally or intentionally in this life or all my past life.
That's
And
what
No, no,
that's
yeah,
what in
and
unified
now,
also. That's what in
I
unified,
do it
Vilas.
every day. I have
Yeah.
made,
correct.
and I also
Now,
try to
what are
forgive.
these two? What are these two characteristics? Just look at it. Forgiveness and gratitude are two
Mhm.
expressions of universal oneness or universal love,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And one you have deviated away,
Yes.
causing an imbalance there, you are coming back and saying, please forgive me.
Yeah.
And in the other, what you are doing is you are expressing gratitude for that opportunity.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you
but
didn't have the wisdom, you think the other
correct,
individual is separate and
correct.
you were hurting. You were hurting
Yes,
without
Hmm.
knowing.
so personally, I am my understanding of asking for forgiveness is trying to break your soul contract.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, this in this
not
one he mentions
necessarily
that
break, sir. It is,
one of
see,
the
probably
yeah,
what you mean is that we are elevating the consciousness of the soul contract, not actually breaking it.
Hmm.
You are merging with oneness together.
But it may also be a possibility, sir, that in our soul contract, we thought that we'll go through this challenge.
Hmm.
And then once we have like reached a certain point or a level, then we are asking for forgiveness. Maybe that was also part of our soul contract,
No.
Exactly.
here
So it is coming, it is now
right?
becoming a tick mark in the checklist of soul contracts. You are completing that
Hmm.
yeah
Hmm.
rather
number
than
10.
breaking it. Breaking it means you are going away from it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
in
why
this
See,
one,
I said
in
break
some,
sounds
yeah,
different.
in some sense, if you are trying to escape from the repercussion of something bad I did, that's
Correct.
when I will ask for forgiveness, right?
Hmm.
That means I'm trying to escape from the repercussion, that
No, but
experience which I
then
have
you are
created
doing
for
it
myself.
under, but are you not asking in that case, are you not asking forgiveness under duress, under stress, under
Hmm.
pressure,
Correct.
right? You are doing it under fear. Whereas
Yes. Yes.
oneness and universal oneness says that there is nothing to fear.
Absolutely. Yes. So this is what I wanted to bring forward, that point about
Exactly.
this.
Hmm.
Beautiful.
What Neeluji is saying, she's constantly thinking about asking for forgiveness for
Hmm.
whatever I may have done. That is not what Unified teaches.
Okay.
Unified has very clearly, Babaji has explained, there is nothing wrong that you can ever do.
Correct.
So what is it forgiveness
yeah.
for?
So what
You
does
It
that
can
is
mean? We
never
saying
should
that
do.
if
not.
I have strayed away from universal oneness,
Hmm.
universal love, bring me
Hmm.
back to universal love.
Exactly.
So we should not seek forgiveness.
No, you
You
No,
should.
have
no,
to
no.
know. No, no,
You
no.
should at the
Understand
first
it.
opportunity.
Hmm.
Say that again,
Understand the
sir.
other.
understand it properly. That is what
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
important,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
There are very frequent cases of incest in families, right?
Okay.
Little girls go through a very bad experience in early part of their life within the family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now think about that. Now when this girl is growing up, what is she carrying? She's carrying the
A guilt
horrified
experience.
experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, uh, just this morning, I was talking to somebody who had such an experience, and I was helping her understand it differently now. Now that you are grown up, now you are so many years old, think about that experience differently now. When you now look at the same experience as the basis of who you are today, if that experience had not come in your life, you would not have created a personality which you have today, which would have given you these kind of experiences through your life. So that may have been your own plan to have such an experience so that then you take a specific direction in your life, right?
No,
That is
actually,
one
that
aspect.
experience converts you to a person who can help the universe
Uh,
better.
better, exactly, right? Now,
Because you are not none the wiser at that stage.
right,
You are
correct.
wiser at that stage.
Yes. So now the second aspect of it, I asked her, why did you think that experience was bad for you? Think about it. That was your belief system and social
Exactly.
conditioning that created that thought in your mind that this is a bad experience. Right? Now that you know the bigger picture plan of your own life, you should now think about it that that person simply fulfilled your request.
Yeah.
That's
And
a very
Once
hard thing
right,
to
no, no,
yeah,
no.
it
understand.
is.
Once you know the soul contract, soul gifts book, you read, then you will understand.
Yes, but the important thing is, it instead of forgiveness, I am not talking about forgiveness anymore. Clearing your own thinking that
Mm-hmm.
my understanding of what was bad actually is not really bad. That is just one experience that one can have in life. It's only the social stigma which makes it bad. If, say, for example, if this was a different society, different culture where you were, this would not have been a bad
Yes,
thing at all. This
yes.
would be the norm, actually.
Because in
See?
India, the customs and the way of
Hmm.
social
Yeah,
structure is different.
exactly. Right. So, what I'm saying is, when you look at this thing intelligently in your mind, then you don't have a need for forgiveness also. See, today you are saying it's so difficult to forgive. I know where you are coming from because your conditioning also is the same. That's a very bad thing. That's your
Mm-hmm.
conditioning. So you are saying it's impossible to forgive such a person. You get my point? So
Mm-hmm.
the what Babaji has taught in Unified is understand that there can be nothing wrong. When you understand that thing clearly, there is the very need for forgiveness is gone away. There is
Mm-hmm.
nobody to forgive because I created that reality for myself. Who to forgive? It is my own requirement, my need. This character which is sitting here was created from that very basic fundamental experience.
I agree.
Right? So understand forgiveness from a very different perspective. All I'm saying is our mind has become a judge for good and bad because of social conditioning. This is all related to belief system, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The belief system creates that sense of good and bad, what we call as value system. We create
Mm-hmm.
it in the society, in the social fabric where we have been growing up. And that value system, which we call, that is our understanding of right and wrong, good and bad, ethical issues. And we are taught from the childhood, as soon as you see something, check whether it is good or bad. So you become judges in your mind. You start judging everything on the go. Just as soon as you see something, you judge it. So we become habitual judgment people. We keep judging things constantly. And that judgment is based on imported thoughts, the conditioning of the society, the norms of the society, the norms of the family, right? So our belief systems are our own creations. I will go to the extent of fundamental thing that we don't really, when we don't want a specific way of being, we don't need belief system at all.
When we evolve to that.
Ah, ultimately,
That
that's where we have to be.
that
Drop
is why
everything.
Jesus Christ said, "Become like a child to go into the kingdom," because
Exactly.
you don't have that conditioning.
Child has nothing. It's a blank slate.
Yeah.
And that's what we
No,
have to become.
or the other way around also.
Mm.
In the sense, we condition a child to make the
Eventually,
child a limited being
Ah,
eventually,
because
yeah,
he is
yeah,
born unlimited.
yes.
yes. Born unlimited.
Correct.
But it seems until 7 or 8, they still carry, like a very pure mind, and even if they get upset, immediately, they forget, they forgive. They don't have this grudge.
They don't
Mm.
have the subconscious memory active.
Yeah,
The subconscious is open till the age of
open.
7 years. The
Yeah,
subconscious is open, which means
They
subconscious
are
never
suggestible.
argues. Yeah, it never analyzes, it simply accepts.
yeah.
Correct.
Right? So by 7 years, 90% of that value system is created already by 7 years of age. After that, uh, incremental changes only happen through the rest of the life because of experiences.
No, corrections. I would
Hmm.
use the word corrections there.
Correct. Yes.
Till the
Yes.
Mm.
time that he reaches 35.
Correct.
After
Yeah.
35, it becomes his perception about
Person-
life. And
Personality.
Yeah.
that
Inflexible. Totally
and that is
inflexible.
when life hits us hard with challenges. Those are the lessons that we have picked up.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
In
So
fact, there's a
basically,
beautiful chart on how all this relates to the growth of an individual
uh,
from the chakras perspective.
okay. Okay. Nice. Very
Hmm.
nice. Yeah.
Now,
It-
for spiritual tablets, I was doing all this kind of research in the back end for me to understand what is that all about.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it's basically like a car being manufactured in the factory till the age of 35. At
Correct.
35, you come on the road, hit the road.
Correct.
The tire meets the road now.
Yeah. And once the tire meets the road, then all the dents and scratches and everything start happening.
This is what they term midlife crisis.
Mm,
Yes, that is known as the midlife crisis.
correct.
And that is where the spiritual strength of an individual, right, is very, very, very
Helpful.
necessary. People at that age should have come into spiritual understanding
Yes.
for their own growth, for their own betterment.
Exactly. Yeah, just yesterday I was listening to Osho. He said that those who come into spirituality at a young age are the wise people.
Correct. They are already born with a purpose. That
Yes,
purpose being spreading spirituality.
yes.
They are the teachers.
Mm.
Whereas those who are the research public, like all of us, are between 30 and
We are in the last 35 years.
exactly. Now we are validating our lessons. We are correcting those lessons,
Correct.
right? And we are gathering universal wisdom to help us in that corrections.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Now
Wonderful.
Thank you so much,
I have an
all of the masters.
opportunity, sir, like in our neighborhood. Um, they are conducting some classes for kids. So I said I'll be interested in teaching meditation for kids. I was thinking I will teach only few kids call to my home, but that I don't have that opportunity due to
How
certain
old are
reasons.
the kids?
I said like from 5 to 14 or 5 to 12, I'll take those kids. Now, like whole community kids, they're going to, I don't know how many is going to come, but I'll be guiding them. Now, from next month, it's going to start.
That's
So
amazing.
I'm like, I have to handle alone little
Then
bit.
you need to understand the relationship between the age and what knowledge you need to dump on them. Which
Yeah,
I will share that Excel sheet that I have put together from the chakras perspective.
please, sir.
Because
I need all the
everything
help.
there, all there, everything works in cycles of 7.
Hmm.
Our life changes also in cycles of 7 years.
I think in Thinking and Destiny also he mentioned that.
He mentions that, yes.
Sir,
Yeah.
please
Not
share,
only
please
that, even
share.
in the soul contract, he mentions that. Everything works in
7 years. Every 7 years what changes. Everything in our body changes.
the Kirti ma'am is recording. It is being recorded.
Yeah.
Okay. Done.
Yeah.
Then shall we release this bridge for the next group which is waiting?
Oh, so sorry, sir. Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
all
you so much.
masters.
Thank
No,
you. Thank
this
you,
has been a
everyone.
It was
wonderful discussion.
wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you.
Looking
thanks
forward to
Satyana, sir.
next week.
Yeah.
There was a break.
I will not be able to attend that. I'll be in Canada
Next
attending a
week, I
wedding. So
also am not sure. I will try
Okay.
because I'll be in Bangalore. I don't know whether my friend has all the setup and I can't carry my entire equipment. Yeah. Let me
but
try.
it will be recorded anyway, so I can like
Yeah.
maybe take a look later. But
No, I can take a look
just
and then at least give the written answers as I had been doing whenever I missed.
yes, sir, you have been really, really amazing with that. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you
Good
so much.
night.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
And
you.
my
so much.
apologies to Lakshmi ma'am and Koti sir
No,
for
I just
usurping their time.
I saw your message, sir, and I said, man, I am missing something. This bridge is going on for more than an hour, so I joined. So,
Questions need to stop for me to stop.
yeah,
Sorry, sir.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay. I don't think anyone will take offense because the leader of that other team is already here.
So, okay, sir, we'll end the session now.
Bye.
So
Thank you.
sorry. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
everyone.
Amazing
apologies.
Yeah.
session,
Thank
masters.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.